Whether you're out in the wilderness or just in your urban jungle, you should always have a good first aid kit. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. This is a first aid kit, so you might want to make sure that you have one on hand, whether you're heading out, maybe in the trunk of your car, underneath the kitchen sink in your home, because having something like this can be a lifesaver, literally. I've used stuff like this for patching up just your standard little scrapes to a little cut or a bee sting, and so having something like this is really great because you don't know what you're going to need, whether you're going to need some gauze or a Band-Aid or a little antiseptic wipe, whatever it might be. I think things like this have it. Now, this one was actually pretty cheap and it had a lot of components. So I want to unpackage this with you and show you what's inside in case you are looking for a good little first aid kit for your own adventures. Alright, so let's take a look at this first aid kit. First of all, you can see I'm holding it just like this. It's actually not that big. It fits in the palm of my hand. We do have this nice red hard case. That's funny that many of these do not come in red cases. A lot of them will come in blue or something. I think that is a little more subtle. I think if you are in an emergency situation, you want the sucker in orange or red, something really bright that you'll see. And here is the first aid kit itself. Obviously two sides, mesh pocket on both sides. We've got two little mesh pockets here. Let's start on this side here. First of all, we get an instant ice pack, so you can crack this open, which is really nice. That's chemical activated. We get a bunch of Band-Aids here, so it kind of looks like standard size Band-Aids, so we've got a ton of those. Ooh, we have the Q-tips with, looks like iodine in there, so those will be helpful for sterilizing any injuries. We also have a bunch of Q-tips here, alcohol disinfectant, which is really cool. So you break these open, and I think then you can use those to swab up, especially if you get a scratch. I actually have a little scar right here when I fell and I scraped my hand along the ground and we were on a hike and I couldn't really wash that out until we got back to camp, and that was, 6 or 7 hours later, and I would say kind of got infected on me and that wasn't really a great move on my part. Triangular bandage, so you can use these for a sling. You can see it's kind of like a cloth Tyvek material. Oh, burn dressing. I haven't actually seen these in a lot of first aid kits. So yeah, someone gets burned, campfire, an ember, spillage of flammable liquid, grease fire, something like that, splatters up on someone. And then what we get here are alcohol pads. So we get quite a few of these, so you can absolutely swab up something. That would have been nice right there when I had that. Looks like we have a bandage here. Then we also have a lot more of these little Band-Aids, so a ton of those little tiny ones for your finger. Looks like we have rubber tourniquet material here, so stop some bleeding. We also have, looks like some medical tape, some safety pins. Those can be useful for a lot of stuff. Ooh, an emergency little aluminum whistle. And then we can get these out here, so you can see we have tweezers so that you can pull out splinters or pull something out of someone's eye. This is interesting. I didn't expect this. Looks like we get a little hand crank dynamo flashlight, which is actually kind of brilliant. So it looks like there's the power switch. It's already powered up here. And then you have this little switch here that will release the dynamo handle. And now what you can do is you can pump this, and that's a little generator that will charge up the battery, so you always have power. So the nice thing about this is you don't even have to worry about having a battery or, hey, is the flashlight charged? Pretty awesome. This is actually a great little device itself, so you can put that handle back down, clip it back in, and then when it's fully charged, that fits in the palm of your hand. It's actually very, very light as well, so I definitely dig that. Ooh, you get one of these little survival cards, so you get a lot of different tools here, some ratchet, saw, bottle opener. You can pull some nuts off of tops of screws, things like that. So this little, they call them like a survival card, can be very helpful as well. We also get a bunch more bandages, so some spot bandages as well as kind of these butterfly bandages. These are for larger injuries. And then right here we have soap wipes, so to complement your alcohol wipe, you can actually just do some cleaning up here. Sterile gauze swabs, so that's nice. You can put those on injuries here and make sure that nothing gets into the injury and stop some of the bleeding here. We also have a face shield. This is for giving mouth to mouth, so it's kind of a plastic piece that I think has a hole in the middle, so you can put it on someone else's mouth if they're, so if you want to make sure you don't catch something, you're worried about a transmittable disease. Emergency solar blankets, so these are great Mylar blankets. Again, it doesn't take up a lot of space, but someone's in shock, can wrap them up, keep the elements off them, trap their body heat. And then we also have these scissors here, which are great for cutting away things. So if someone has an injury, down on their leg, you don't want to try to pull their pants off, or if they're impaled with a stick or something, you want to cut away the cloth here. So this is a great way to do it, and a little safety edge right there so you can cut away their clothing, and you can see a little serrated edge there. So that's everything that you get in this first aid kit. It's actually one of the better ones I've ever seen. I didn't know what was all in here, but it's not that expensive. It's nice and small, portable, compact. I think it would be great for your next outing or adventure, underneath your kitchen sink for your home, or in the trunk of your car. I actually might have to pick up a couple more of these for my vehicle so that I know I am prepared for emergencies if they should happen. Hopefully not. But if you want to pick up this first aid kit, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.